KROQ's Loveline show is where many LA teens turn to for information and advice on sex and love.
This is a show where you tune into Loveline, you are going to hear what's going on in the entire field of love.
Priscilla Hurley, who emphasizes abstinence until marriage, feels Loveline can be detrimental to teens.
I do believe that Loveline is contributing to promiscuity among teens.
Let's talk about sex. Next on Life and Times.
This program is supported by a grant from the James Irvine Foundation, which is dedicated to the development of an informed California citizenry.
Okay, well, hi guys. Of course, as usual, I'm late to the show, and welcome to Loveline.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, cause and effect. Are you guys from Sacramento? I kind of got a little, bio on you last night from Lewis. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Beautiful Sacramento, California. We're gonna play your guys' songs, okay, and then we'll take love calls on KROQ. Did you give out the phone numbers, Dr. Drew?
Yeah, I want you to do it one more time.
Okay, real quickly, if you've got love problems, 520-1067 for LA and San Gabriel Valley. Loveline is on Sunday through Thursday, 10 to midnight. There's 90 radio stations in LA, and almost one out of every 3 radios on at the time we're on is tuned to us. I mean, that's a phenomenal thing. Okay, Christy, 16 from Garden Grove, you're on Loveline. Welcome to the show with Cause and Effect. Dr. Drew is here, looking very happy tonight.
Hi.
Hi, what's your love problem?
Okay. I'm going out with this guy right now, and he's bisexual. And he thinks he's turning full homosexual, and he hasn't actually explored any sexual relations, well, with a female.
Are you going to be his first female?
I don't know. I think that's what he's saying. He wanted to talk to me, like, last week. And
well, how do you feel about, his sort of track record? Do you feel comfortable with that?
Well, yeah, I actually do for some reason.
What do you guys think? Cause and effect, Robert and Sean and Richard.
Well, I mean, if she really likes the guy, do you like him a lot?
Yeah.
And it's not a problem?
No.
So what's the problem?
Well,
Do we all identify any special risks here for this young lady?
Yeah,
Of course we do.
Okay. Maybe we ought to talk about that a little bit.
absolutely.
Maybe that's exactly what she's worried about. Is that what you're worried about? Maybe the possibility of diseases and stuff?
no, not really.
What are you? What did
You should be.
Then what did you call about?
Because I don't know if I should.
If you should what?
As he said, explore.
This is a show where you tune into Loveline, you are going to hear what's going on in the entire field of love. And this is the only program that does that.
He's been with one other homosexual before,
Yeah.
and now he wants to explore his heterosexual feelings.
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
But at the same time, he's telling you he plans to be homosexual?
He's not sure.
Well, no, you start out by saying he is going to be purely homosexual.
No, you said he was bi.
No, but she said he planned to be purely
He thinks he's going
He's
to.
purely homosexual, but he just wants to explore with her.
He wants to.
I started doing the show in 1984. I was just finishing up medical school, and from the moment I walked in the station, I'll never forget being absolutely blown away by the material which these kids were bringing to FM disc jockeys. Some of the most intimate and important questions that they could possibly ask. They weren't asking their parents, they weren't asking their clergy, they weren't asking their doctors, they were asking the poor man. You really could be setting yourself to get hurt, not to mention the explicit HIV risk you could have.
True.
What would you guys do, Robert and Sean and Richard, if you were her?
I'm not sure if I'd want to be the guinea pig.
Robert?
I mean, if I was going to be the guinea pig, I think I'd make sure he put something on.
Like a triple condom?
Like that
triple
Loveline
condom, right?
In fact, Dr. Drew and I have been talking, we need a flavored Loveline condom because apparently you need a condom now for oral sex. Am I right on that, Dr. Drew?
Absolutely, and if that's the only way people are going to do that, we were going to save people's lives. We got to do it.
Pina colada would be a good penis colada. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I guess all of us are saying be very careful, right? Am I right on this?
Yes, you're right.
We're actually in agreement?
For about for the next 30 seconds or so. Don't hold your breath.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, okay, bye-bye. I think we got a huge teen audience, huge 18 to 24, huge 24 to 35. But then my dad, who's 68 years old, he loves the show. You know, Drew's dad, who I think is 71, I'm not sure, something like that. He loves the show. KROQ 106.7. You got it, the best station in all of Southern California. Do not change your dial or I'll be at your home, pounding on the door at 4 a.m. naked. Think about that. Keep it on KROQ. Okay, let's have a herpes question. Brett, 14 from Orange. Brett? Brett, you want to talk a little herpes talk, huh?
I was just wondering, what is it more common to get herpes from? Vaginal sex or oral sex?
And Drew looks at me. I should know the answer, huh, after a trillion times. Both ways, right? Am I right, Dr. Drew?
Again, I don't know the specific statistics on whether it's more common to get oral genital or genital herpes. Both are very common. Why specifically do you ask that question?
Oh, because my friend wanted to know.
Well, they're
come
both.
Come on, dude. Did you want to know?
Poor man's. What'd you say, poor man?
I said, come on, Brett. You think you may have it? Come on, be honest. We don't know you.
No, I don't. No, my friend wanted to know.
Oh,
He's right here, and he told me to say it.
Why didn't he call in?
Because it's my house.
Oh, I see. So, in other words, only you use the phone at your house.
Yeah.
If a guest comes to use the phone, do you charge a quarter?
Yep.
Put him on then, Brett.
All right. Here. Hello?
Dude, are you really serious? Do you think you may have herpes?
Yeah.
Why did you have Brett call?
Because it's his house.
Gee, well, it's his house and your herpes.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. You know, if I had herpes, I'd have, Dr. Drew call if I was at his house. Gee. Why didn't you have his mom call? It's probably her phone.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, go ahead. Where do you think you have it?
On my genitals.
How did you think you got it?
Having sex.
I think we are doing more than just the education that's done in the school. This is their environment, this is their community, and they are allowing me in. I'm not superimposing the information on them. I'm a visitor piggybacking on their trusted FM disc jockeys and able to kind of get in and give some good information to them at the same time. And I'm trusted. If it were just me, I would be identified as parent. That's my role in the community. That's my personality construct. And I would be extremely distrusted if it were the Dr. Drew hour. So again, you need to have this looked at by somebody who knows how to look at these types of skin rashes.
I don't want to just tell my family doctor, yeah, I got herpes.
You need to go into him or her. Listen, that is what we're trained to do. We see things like that every day, and you need to go in and just say, I've noticed this rash. I'm wondering what it is. That's all.
Is he afraid that the doctor's going to tell his
mom
parents?
And just go, hey.
No, you don't have to tell your mom just why you're seeing the doctor. That's
and the doctor won't tell his mom,
That's
right?
between you and the doctor. That's confidential. Actually,
She'll ask me.
Your mom will ask you?
Yeah. If I ask her to go to the doctor, she's going to ask me why.
How old are you, guy?
14.
Oh, man, just tell her.
Tell her?
Yeah.
You have a rash.
Yeah. Okay.
Believe me, I take huge professional risks every time I go on that stage. I feel very uncomfortable with a lot of the material that's brought out. I don't think a lot of it is out of control. A lot of it is inappropriate. But it's that which I have to endure and risk to get into this population and access in a way that I don't think has been done effectively before.
The entertainment definitely has to be there as well. I mean, it can't be just a clinical analysis. But I think the thing that really is important here, and the true genius of the show, is that this show is not unlike the way people deal with their real-life love problems. Because when somebody has a love problem, they don't call up a physician. They call up their friend. So when you've got me in the studio and some celebrities, we're just like people's friends. We're just sitting there, they're calling us up, telling us their love problem, and then we just happen to have another friend who's a doctor. Stacy, and Stacy's 14 from Burbank. Stacy,
Yeah?
apparently you wanted to ask some questions about AIDS, right?
Yeah. I had a question about that new AIDS virus they have out.
Let me ask you first. You're 14. Have you ever had sex yet?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
What's the furthest you've gotten? If you were a baseball player and you were hitting at the plate, what base?
Not far.
First?
Not even.
So you haven't even kissed anybody?
No.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask anyway. Go for it.
Okay, this is for Drew. I just wanted to know, what is it, What is this new virus?
I have a feeling this is going to create a lot of pandemonium and panic out there, unfortunately. Poorman's been calling me about twice a day about this one. What they have discovered is AIDS-like illnesses, about 30 cases worldwide, in individuals who do not test positive for the virus.
What city are they from?
Poorman, let's talk about your specific concerns about this.
Well, I mean, let's be honest about it. If there's some of them in L.A., it won't just be just me. Everybody who's seen somebody but maybe looks a little, on the unhealthy side, they might think that it could be one of these new special people.
Having the poor man in the studio with me is like having another 13-year-old. It's like having a member of the audience sitting right next to me. He is a perfect barometer of what the adolescent or the young listener is feeling. If I'm getting into something that's too complicated, he'll stop me and ask me to explain it. If I'm getting into something that's too intense, he'll take it, off he'll go into something totally unrelated and ridiculous because it's a release for him. It's too intense to talk about sexual molestation. We talk about that for 10 minutes, and I know that he'll interrupt me and get onto something totally outrageous.
I love having the mind of a 13-year-old because to me, I think it's cool that I'm a grown man and there's 13-year-olds listening to my show. That's hot. That's really hot. KROQ, as you can see by me, it's a pretty loose sort of, it actually had its roots in underground and punk and new wave. And it was just a hole-in-the-wall dump, I guess would be the best way to put it, when I first started back in 1981. I started out reviewing restaurants because I wrote 2 restaurant guidebooks called The Poor Man's Guides to Gourmet Dining for under $6. So that's how I ended up linking myself with KROQ, because I thought I'd be a lawyer. I flunked the bar 3 times, and, by the time I had done it the second time, this was much more fun.
Here's the problem. I was going out with this girl for a while, right? And I told her that I had gotten tested for everything, but I had gonorrhea, and I didn't know it because, I didn't even notice the symptoms, and I just found out about it.
What was your symptom?
What?
What symptom did you have?
At the burning rim, poor man. Anyway, though,
it's a burning drip, right, Dr.
It's
Drew?
a burning drip.
It can be. How long did you have it for before you knew it?
I had for, I think 3 months.
Oh, boy,
that can be dangerous.
Really? 'Cause
Yeah.
I hardly got any symptoms from it.
You're lucky.
What could it happen to him?
You can get complications. It can get into the epididymis and prostate. You can get an arthritis from gonorrhea that can be pretty devastating sometimes.
Well, sorry, Brooke, it's gone.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, well, as soon as I noticed it, I went to the doctor, and I got it taken care of and stuff. But I don't know how to tell this girl that because I don't know if she might have it or not.
You have got to tell her.
Really?
Yes, you do. And if not you, your physician needs to contact her. She's got to get treatment.
Did you use a condom?
What?
Did you use a condom?
No, because I was waiting for a Loveline condom for you guys, but you didn't send it.
Dude, don't blame it on us.
It's your fault, man. Poor man, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
A new liability has emerged. We are responsible for other people's safe sex techniques. That's great. Here we are in a time where we're supposed to be impacting on the behavior through HIV education, and yet you would expect if we were, you'd see a decrease in the incidence of the other sexually transmitted diseases, which is just not empirically the case. Somewhere we are falling flat, and I think it is in the way we are trying to educate these kids. They can intellectually know everything about HIV, but to get them from that intellectual information to a behavior, to admitting or breaking through their own denial about their potential for getting this disease, those are 2 different things. And that's what we're trying to do. That's why we have to go to them.
Okay, let's go to Orange County 1. David, 17 from Newport. David?
Yeah.
Hi, you're on Loveline with Robert and Sean, Danica, and Richard.
Hi.
And you're on Loveline on KROQ, 106.7
KROQ.
Go ahead.
I have some questions about bisexuals.
Go ahead, man.
All right, because I have a girlfriend, all right? Yeah. And when we're walking around and stuff at the beach, I always seem to look at guys. It's weird.
What do you look at? I mean, what do you notice?
Like all their body parts.
Like, in particular?
Just whatever.
Do you find your eyes going to the crotch region?
Yeah. Like
So,
more on like the rears, the butts, more like.
and so you wanted to know if that means you're gay, right?
Yeah, but I have a girlfriend and we have sex and everything.
Dr. Drew, you've answered this one a lot of times on the show, huh?
How old are you again?
I'm 17.
Is this a feeling that you've had in the past, or only since you've had a steady relationship?
Well, since my relationship started.
Do you think maybe the security of being in that relationship and the fact that that validates your sense or wish to be heterosexual allows you to feel more comfortable exploring some of your homosexual feelings, maybe?
Possibly.
It's not abnormal to have these feelings, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be bisexual or homosexual. In fact, most adolescents, as they're developing, have feelings for the same sex, and may. I think the callers and their issues that we listen to every night represents the majority and the mainstream of a teenage population. I'm a practicing internist. I have a primary care practice in South Pasadena.
Oh, do you want me on the stool or up here?
No, actually, just up here is fine. We're going to finish. I have many times, often, thought about stopping the show. I mean, withdrawing from the show. And in fact, at one point, I was so frustrated with it that I thought it was just taking a direction that it just wasn't worthwhile at all. I decided to stop. But that happened to be a week that I was scheduled to go speak at the SC Medical School to the first and second year students about media and medicine. And that was at a time at which I was getting a lot of resistance from my peers, too. So, and I'm not a maverick, so it was hard for me to buck the trends. And I was really amazed by the response I got from the first and second year medical students, which, when I revealed to them that I'd made a decision to quit, was outrage. You have a constituency. How could you leave your constituency behind? These people need you, and you're abandoning them.
You know, why don't we answer the hotline live on the air? Oh, they hung up. Okay. Let's go to Anthony. Are you 14, Anthony?
Yeah.
Anthony, 14 from Pacoimus.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're on Loveline with the guys from Cause and Effect. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi there.
Okay, I really don't have a love problem. It's just that before school ended, I asked my friends about what they were talking about, and they said, oh, Loveline. And so last week I listened to it, and it was really appalling, some of the things that these guys were saying. I mean, like last week I remembered a 9 or 10-year-old calling, and these kids,
Was that the 9-year-old whose breasts were growing big quick?
Yeah.
The one who had large breasts at age 9?
Yeah. And I think that, like, a lot of problems are caused by not necessarily you alone, but a lot of radio shows that go on the air with sex talk shows and talk about things like, you know, what you guys talk about.
Believe me, celibacy is something we support completely. And if that's your choice, that is great. You're going to, a lot of the problems we see here you're not going to ever have to deal with. Okay?
Yeah. I think what you're doing inflares curiosity.
Dr. Drew talks a lot about abstinence and especially protection. I've noticed in the few shows I've listened to. I think it's a good thing.
And Poorman certainly does. You know what? I'll tell you what. You're a pretty smart guy. You are, and it's good you bring this stuff up. But you know, the way I look at it is, you know, if somebody doesn't want to have sex, they shouldn't. But you know, there are people that are your age that do have sex, and I mean, not to talk to them would be ignoring the obvious. You know how that is. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not telling everybody to have sex. In fact, my feeling is with AIDS out there, if you have sex at any age, you know, it's a big risk. So when I was a kid, I would have loved this show. Believe me, this show I would have been on. And I know a lot of, like, you know, kids that are young today just love it. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing else like it.
I would have been addicted to it, I bet, because it would have made me understand and feel better about the issues that I was having.
And I just leave you with one thing. You've got to hear me sing the Loveline jingle on educational television. So a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Loveline! Wow! You've got to hear me sing the Loveline jingle on educational television. So a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Loveline! Wow!
The love line, I think, is a misnomer, you know, because Poorman says the field of love. Well, we're talking about sex. Kids are confused today. What is love and what is sex? Is it the same thing? No, love is not the same as sex. Sex is not the same as love. You can love somebody and not have sex with them. And you can have sex with somebody and not love them. I think that kids need to understand that their sexuality is more than just a physical thing, that there are other deeper dimensions to it, and that the decisions they make about their sexuality and sexual behavior is not going to just affect them physically, but in the other dimensions, the emotional, and the mental, and the spiritual, and the social. And I don't see them really dealing with those other levels.
I mean, if I was going to be the guinea pig, I think I'd make sure he put something on.
Like a triple condom?
Like that
triple
Loveline
condom, right.
In fact, Dr. Drew and I have been talking, we need a flavored Loveline condom. Because apparently
there's more to it. The kids need more. They need to know that there are consequences, because see, sex is presented in our society as this romantic, a place where you can go to get your needs met. And it's a romantic place where there is no consequence. But the realities is that there are consequences. There are consequences, and they're painful. And you have to be responsible. You need to know what your choices are. You need to know what your risks are.
I was just wondering, what is it more common to get herpes from? Vaginal sex or oral sex?
It's a different playing field for kids today, and parents have to get involved because their kids' lives are literally at stake here. For that 14-year-old to think that he couldn't go to his parents when he may have genital herpes, that's sad. I feel for him. I feel for his parents.
I had a question about that new AIDS virus they have out.
Let me ask you first, you're 14, have you ever had sex yet?
No, I don't think so.
What's the furthest?
We recommend abstinence until marriage. And what we're seeing today are kids who really have no idea. This is an option. You don't have to, you can wait. You really can. And there's freedom here, and there's safety. And not only that, but you can establish your own boundaries. You can become more of a person who's in control of your life. And they don't know that it's there. They have no idea that it's there, because they were born into a society that's already sexually promiscuous.
I think that a lot of problems are caused by not necessarily you alone, but a lot of radio shows that go on the air with sex talk shows and talk about things like, what you guys talk about.
I do believe that Loveline is contributing to promiscuity among teens. When I listened to it at my house, a guy called in who had a problem with addiction, sexual addiction. He had a girlfriend that he was sexually active with, and he apparently said he loved her. But then he would go to parties and he couldn't control himself. And he called in because I felt when my ears listened to it, that he was feeling guilty. He didn't know what to do. And he wanted to get some advice. And I really felt that they didn't give him anything. What Poorman did say was, "Hey, stud, what's your problem? There's guys listening on this radio here that are going, what's this dude's problem?" And he does have a problem, a serious problem that's going to hurt him and his girlfriend, because he's lying to her.
I was going out with this girl for a while, right? And I told her that I had gotten tested for everything, but I had gonorrhea, and I didn't know it because I didn't even notice the symptoms, and I just found out about it.
What was your symptom?
I think that that we need to get out of just viewing sexuality as a physical activity, and that there's much more involved that we need to consider. We need to help kids understand. And what I've heard from the Loveline is mostly, on that physical level. It's an activity and it's no big deal, and, watch out for the disease factor, wear your Loveline condoms. I think it's a disservice. I think there is something better that we can do for the kids that will get more into their hearts and help them, because their lives will be affected by their decisions they make today.
This program was made possible by a grant from the James Irvine Foundation, which is dedicated to the development of an informed California citizenry.